Struggling to draw a rose because of all those complicated petals? Don't worry. Today I'll show you a super easy way to make it easy. And once you learn this method, you can use it to other flowers too. It'll also help you understand other structure before you start painting them realistically. Although the rose petals look complicated, we can just break down it into simple geometric shape. Ignore the details of the petals and squinting your eyes to see the image. I see the oval above the petal here, like a bowl. The other petals are made up of rectangle, triangle, and polygons. In this way, to outline the basic shape of the flower, help me quick and easy to plan out and construct a tile drawing. I'm starting with very light lines to outline the basic shape I mentioned earlier. My drawing process isn't exactly the same as in the reference basic shape images, but I already have the general geometric shape in my head. This way, I can outline the rose faster and more accurately. The leaves can be used the same method. Break down them to be triangle and sketch out the shape based on this idea. Once I'm happy with those simple shapes, I go back in, darken the line, and start drawing details for each petal. Using this method, you'll always refer back to the basic geometric form underneath while drawing the petals, which makes overall shape of the flower more accurate and more easier to get right. The petals in the bowl-shaped center can look pretty complicated, but don't worry about getting every single one perfect. Remind the basic bowl shape underneath. All those little petals are arranged around this bowl in perspective. So if you follow that structure, you'll draw their shape much more accurately. Petal lines are usually made up of curves, and that might not get them perfect in one go, and that's usually fine. With practice, you'll get more comfortable and confident drawing those curves. Now I'm starting to draw the petals underneath. I group their structures and imagine them as plants sitting on the bowl, wrapping around the center of the flower. The geometric shape I've already drawn underneath really helped me figure out each petal's shape and position. Now I'm breaking down the lower petals into secondary shapes. They're kind of like several polygons joined together, and then adding some curve to bring out the natural shape of the petals. Once I'm happy with the rose drawing, I start adding shading. I don't pick just one petal to work on. I like first lay down a general layer of shading over the whole flower. Then go back and deepen the darkest area. This way, I can keep the overall light and dark area balanced. You might feel a bit unsure where to start, since the petal can seem scattered and tricky. But don't worry. The same structure broke down we talked about earlier, perfect for shading too. Let's go back and look at the bowl and plant structure again. In the picture, the sunlight is coming from the upper right, so the shadow on the bowl-shaped petals follows the same shapes as bowl's shadow. That shadow then falls onto the plate underneath. And the same way, the upper plant shadow falls onto the lower plant. The shading in the all three geometric structural groups follows this basic idea. Once that's in place, we can break it down further and shade each petal individually. This concept helps you see how light and shadow set on the petals. The shading on a flower isn't as simple as bowl and plate, but the overall shadow pattern works on the same way. First, bulking that big simple light dark shape for the whole rose, then break it down petal by petal, going from simple to complex step by step, making it much easier to layer the flower's 3D form accurately. Now I think the basic light and shadow shading is pretty much done. At this stage, you can stop if you are planning to move on a color painting, because it already shows the overall value of the flower. This will really help you keep control of the value when you add color, and it make your painting look more realistic. Or you can also take it further and turn the rose into a complete sketch. I like to fold a tissue like this and use it as a blending tool. Gently smooth out the pencil strokes to make everything look softer. After that, I switched to a 5B pencil to really deepen the darker shadow area on the petal. Since the petals are slightly translucent and also catch reflected light, the shading on the back side of a petal should be a little lighter. That way, you can show more delicate, transparent quality. And if any area looks too dark, just press an eraser on it to lift some graphic and brighten it up. I use the tissue as a blending tool together with the pencil, so the petals look softer and have a nice shaded effect. In the lighter area, I keep a very light pressure with the pencil, and in the darker part, I press a bit harder, layering the shading gradually until the value gets deeper. At this stage, I think the 3D form of the rose is really showing really well. So now I'm focusing on adding the details to each petal. For the leaves, I just add some quick shading to suggest the light and the shadow. Because of the way graphite reflects on the camera, it might look a bit gray on video. But in reality, the values are actually darker. Here's the final scanned image, so you can see the true result. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe my channel for more painting lessons.